In this video, I'm going to talk about how to fit these seals that live at the back of the window. These are particularly difficult to get on correctly, and I've fought with them every time I've needed to fit them, and I think I've worked out a way to get these on reasonably effectively and reasonably quickly. The reason they're so hard is, unlike the other seals, the center and the forward one that have the screws already in place with holes on the inside here, so you can just stick your Torx drive through and screw those and fit them really easily. These aren't like that. There's no holes on the inside here. I'm assuming because this is going to get lots of water flow, and they obviously can't have water flowing through to the other side of the seals, which means that we need to detach this, fit the screws correctly, and then put this on this frame. And the reason that's difficult is because we need to get these bits of rubber underneath these tabs, but the canvas sits to about there and quite hard up against it. So this little seal here that sticks out seals against the inside of the canvas, and then you've got to get a tool in here, and it's extremely difficult to see what's going on and find out where you need to press these things into place and under there like that all the way along. On the same note, on the other side, and these are easier, but we've got to get this big piece in there, in between those lugs and those there, all the way along as well. Kind of like that. You can see that from the inside, and you can do that by hand. It's these on the outside that are particularly difficult. So the first thing I would suggest is, firstly, when it's off the car like this, pull it off completely, familiarise with yourself with how the thing is put together. To firstly get the thing off, you'll have this thing at the top. On my car, which is an earlier model car, this was a metal tab that could be rotated around, but this is a 2014 car, and it's just a piece of plastic. That just goes through that slot there, like that. And then we can put these in and move them along front and back to put all of those into place. To press this into place, I would make myself a tool like this. It's just a bread and butter knife. I've ground the end off, sanded it gently, and then I'll put it on the buffing wheel to make it as smooth as possible, so it's nice and blunt and isn't going to cut the rubber. But this is the thing that's going to press all of these into place. And once you've fitted it correctly onto the frame, go and just press it into the car so you can see where the canvas sits. And what you'll notice is the canvas stops about there. So it sticks up a long way here. And what I'm going to do to tell me where to press this thing in is I'm going to put some dots with a Sharpie along here, but a decent bit away from where the canvas is going to be, so I can go and clean it off later on. This is a permanent marker, but alcohol will just take it off. So what I'm going to do is put a dot like this about there, which is about 1 centimetre away, adjacent to each of those tabs, so I know where I need to feed my tool down in and press those in. There we go. And also what I do, because what we're going to do to start off with is I'm going to have the first couple already in there just before that first hole, and I'll pull it out to show you what I mean. Where that first hole is, about there, I'm going to put a mark on that third one along, which is a bit bigger, to show me that when I bend this seal back, because I don't just want to reef it all the way back because it'll pull it out of all of these ones at the bottom, I want to put my thumb there and hold it hard and turn it and then fold it back like that, so it keeps it in place in these bottom ones as I'm putting in those screws. And the way I'm going to put in those screws, I'm probably going to put in the first one in the middle here, push it all the way back so it's nice and tight, then start at the top, and then finally the one at the bottom, because it's the one that's most difficult. But be careful when I fold that back hard, I don't want to allow that to pull these couple out, because these are the hardest to get in to start off with. And then once I've got this screwed into place, I can then allow this to push its way up, and I'm going to work my way up, and initially I'm going to just wiggle my tool down here. I'd have a headlamp on and your glasses if you're an old fart like me and you can't see very well. so you can see what's going on. You might just be able to see the shininess of these, and then wiggle your way down and then press these in. And that's what these dots are for, to guide you where to go. And I'm going to do a couple like this, go to the other side. The canvas, this will actually sit hard against the liner. This should be flush all the way against the liner when it's correctly in place. And all you're going to do is lift that back like that, and then make sure those get fed into place. And I'm going to do that as I work up this way, do a couple at a time, go to this way, go a couple at a time, and then just work my way all the way up to the top. I would have, before I started, that already slotted in there and pushed in as far as you can go, like that, and then just work my way up on each side. So with the seal, in those first 3 tabs at the bottom, similar on the other side, push that up there like that as far as it can go, and now we're going to fold that back there and put the screws in. And now put it all the way in, turn it back just a little bit, now push it rearward as far as it can go and up, and tighten that. And now that's going to hold in place, and now I can put the other 2 screws in. Once you've got all 3 screws in, just peel back the canvas a little bit, and we're going to slot that thing at the top. And once it's in, it should go down in that hole in the seal there. I'm going to push it all the way. You know it's fully in there when this piece of the seal is sort of flush with the edge there. Right, and once it's like that, now we're going to start pressing stuff in. So go to the inside first, peel it up, and it's hard for me to show you what I'm doing without getting my head in the way, and then push it into the slots at the back for the first couple. And you generally know it's in place at the back if the back part of that seal is flush with the liner. And then what we can do is we can wiggle our tool down in here, push that first little flap out of the way like that, and then, I'm not sure if you heard that, but you should hear quite a distinct click as that piece of rubber goes underneath that plastic tab. I'm just going to check these first. And as you move your tool down, you should be able to feel, if it's in place, you should be able to feel the plastic tab there sticking out. If the rubber's covering it, you won't be able to find it. And once you have worked your way from bottom to top and got them in from both sides, check again that everything is flush with the liner on the inside, but then you can stick your tool down the sides here and just press at each of those dots to see or to feel that the hard bit of that plastic at the back, that tab, is sticking out and proud, and you don't have rubber stopping it from allowing you to feel it. And then you can go ahead, get some alcohol and just clean off all your dots.